This video I'm making for David Wilcox because on his Gaiam TV productions he asked for input from people and some of their experiences. And I'm having an experience with taking pictures of light. And the way I take pictures of it is I use a digital camera and I don't have the flash on, and I'm in a room which is mostly dark, and I have a LED light, a little LED lamp on, and I use a glass object and have the light from the LED light shine onto it, and I focus the camera on the shiny spot on the glass, and I'm finding that I see into a world of light. And most people automatically assume that it's just light refraction, but it's too varied and too immense different ways of looking for it to be just that. And besides that, I also see similar views of the light, of this light, with the naked eye, only way more intricate, and I can't even picture it, but except to say that some of these pictures you're going to see of orbs of light have in them some of the kinds of things that I see with the naked eye. Only with the naked eye I see a vaster area, bigger than just looking through little holes of orb light. I see the whole vast arena of how the light looks, and it's a very complicated and hard to describe world of light, not like anything we've ever seen in this world. It's a light dimension I'm looking into, but not just one. There's many, countless, I think, countless numbers of them. And I just want to show you some of my pictures, and I'll speak as they go by. Let me get them going. And the light carries so many colors. And there's dark spots. Sometimes perfectly round holes will show up in an orb. I'm going to run them by rather fast because I have around 300 in this one section to show you. But altogether, I've taken thousands of pictures of light. I haven't ever counted it, but I'm thinking it's close to 3,000 pictures of the way light travels through glass and the way the light takes on the appearance of an orb. And there's activity within this light when you see it as a little video, where it's not just still pictures. There's flickering, and there's color changing, and there's pulsing of the orb, pulses. And sometimes if I have music on and I'm doing a video of the orbs seem to get in sync with the music, or the music gets in sync with the orbs. I don't know which way it is, but the orb turns out to be a flexible little body that can bend and turn and go through other orbs, or mingle with or entangle with other orbs. I was impressed, David, when you said that photons are emanations of intelligent energy, or intelligent infinity. And I have thought so many things about these pictures I'm taking of light. What could they be? Could they be maybe dark matter? Or could they be something that is smaller than the Higgs boson that they so recently have claimed to have discovered? But I have not seen a picture of the Higgs boson. I think it's something they only can see with their calculations that it's there. But I can see this light and show it in many, many facets. And a metaphysical book I read once, a master was speaking of light. Oh, first I wanted to show you this little ring. A little ring came in just one day in the light rays that came off the light, that are the first ones to come out of the light, that are teardrop shaped. And that particular day there was little rings. And it's not happened again. It only happened on that one day. Now, I've lost my train of thought, or what I was saying. But anyway, I think this light is alive. and it has intelligence, and that it has resonance, that there's resonance in it. And I think the colors actually mean something. What they mean, I don't know. But it's just very curious what all shows up in these orbs and their movements. So I just want you to look at a few of these, a few hundred. I hope you don't mind. But I think you, David, would be the best one to try to explain to me what you think I might be seeing here. Now, when I get these pictures, I'm using the plan I told you about with the glass object, but I move it around the camera and the glass inside of all of the area that the light goes out into, and it changes as I go into other areas of the light. It's like light is sending out color in all directions and patterns in all directions, and it's just, well, it's just alive. I feel like it's alive, and it's in the thin air, so it has no mass. I was reading about something that we're saying about the Higgs boson, and they were having a problem with their mathematics because, now, mind you, I don't know anything about mathematics of this kind, but they were saying that their equations had to have perfect symmetry in order for the mathematics to work out. And you may know what they're talking about when I say that to you, David, because you probably know about such things. But the problem with their theories is that with perfect symmetry, it turns out that it cancels itself out, and there would be nothing. There wouldn't be no you and me or earth or mountains or trees or anything with perfect symmetry. And they talked about antimatter in that program that I watched about the Higgs boson. And they said the antimatter is not symmetrical. And I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, well, these aren't symmetrical. And that's one of the classifications of antimatter, that it's not symmetrical. So I guess maybe not symmetrical, it's not mathematical either. It's more random or something. But I see the little photon of light traveling and stretching itself out in like a piece of ribbon and folding itself up like a scroll. And then I see the light going into its own self from one end to the other end. It's like the head of the snake going, the tail of the snake going into the head of the snake. It's like light is having intercourse with itself. And it brings forth a reproduction of itself, something even different than the two selves that it goes back and forth between. The two little photons of light will just send a ball of light. There's my little creature that I know in the light. I call him Harry. He just went by. And there's the ring again that came in one day. Just that one day. Usually what comes in with the very first of the orbs that come from the light, which are teardrop shaped, are just really beautiful color chords of light. But that one day, the rings came in. And I thought, wow, this is really special. I wonder what this means. And I'm always wondering about this. And I'm thinking, I wish somebody else out there would take similar pictures because it's really easy to do. I explain how it's done. And all one needs is a digital camera and a computer and something made of glass and an LED light. That's all they need to conduct these experiments. Or if you don't want to use a LED light, you can go outside and use the sun for a light. But you're going to get less colorful pictures because there's so much light outside that interferes with the color. but you still get color outdoors. Some of the pictures that go by I will tell you when they are outdoor pictures. There's Harry he pops in, and when I'm in his spectrum of the light, I see his friends, other little creatures that I always see when I see him. But what they are, I do not know. But sometimes with Harry, I can not see him and then say, Harry, where are you? And then he pops up in an orb that I'm looking at just seconds later. It's almost like I think he can hear me. I take his picture every time I see him. And his world is very strange and very colorful and very mysterious. And these orbs show so much genuine compatibility with each other because they blend their colors, they loan their colors to another orb, where I see them sometimes just drop their colors right out of themselves into another orb. And they pass through one another like that was no difficulty at all. And they seem to not be gobbling up anything like little amoeba do that they find in little protozoa that they find in pond scum and things like that. They're eating everything all around them. But that's not the character of this light. It's like it contains everything. It agrees with everything in its world. It shares with everything in its world. And it mingles itself with everything. And it's really a beautiful world, and or dimension, whatever one might want to call it. I have so many pictures of this light that I would love to make a big, huge picture of for my wall. Recently, I did get 2 of them to the photographers who are going to put it on canvas, which I should be getting any day now. Now see, that's an outdoor orb. And there's another one. There's a few right here in a row of outdoor orbs. They're very transparent when they're outdoors. You can see the trees right through them. That's an outdoor orb as well. And see, this is my brother-in-law. Had him hold his hand up, and I can take the picture where I see the orb already in place. I just need to snap, and I tell them, okay, raise your hands up just a little more. I can put the orb right into their hand, or on top of their head, or anywhere, actually. If I can find someone willing to work with me that way. Most people don't want to look into this, and I find it very strange that people that are closest to me don't find this exciting. I find it very much so exciting because, to me, it's looking into another dimension. And I think what my closest family members think is, well, what good does it do you? How is it serving you? Does it make you any money? Well, no. It's just interesting. I love it, whether it's useful that way or not. Perhaps someday I can work with it in ways that it's beneficial. It's already beneficial to me because I'm excited every day when I take pictures of orbs to see what I will get and what I will discover. Now, I read a book called Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, which is in 5 books. And in one of the books, they talked about a camera that takes pictures of past events. And I've always thought, oh, I want to do that. I want to take pictures of past events, people and places in the past. And this is what I got, pictures of orbs. And I keep thinking maybe something will show up in them that looks like something we would recognize. Or maybe this is, for me, something that will develop into my seeing more and more and more and understanding it more, and maybe even getting some pictures of the past. I would love to see that. Say a past inauguration of a president or something, George Washington, or maybe some of the Bible history, just anything in the past. It would be wonderful. There's so many experiments that can be done with taking pictures of orbs like this. Experiments that are beyond my ability to do right now. That only maybe a scientist or someone who has the means and the laboratory necessary for it can think of new ways of seeing how light looks under several different conditions. Because already when I do videos of this, if I have music on, or someone talking, like a preacher, or like a singer singing some beautiful song, the orbs just move in sync with the music, and sometimes they're very beautiful orbs, and sometimes they're kind of gloomy looking orbs, especially when it's a fire and brimstone preacher preaching about hell. Those don't make very pretty orb movements at all. I'm sure there's a reason that I see and I have become able to capture these orbs in a photo that I can show others. I just wish that I could show others what I see with my eyes that I can't capture with the camera. I mean, I've been seeing this with my eyes that I can't capture with a camera long before I was able to capture it with a camera. And I wouldn't even speak about it to people because people think you're goofy when you say you see things that they can't see. And it's not fun talking about things like that to people who are going to put you down. It kind of dampens your interest in even doing it any further. But I kept praying to be able to take pictures of what I see. And as a result, I've been capturing pictures of some parts of what I see, but not the entirety of it for sure. But anyway, I wish you, David, would investigate it. Take pictures yourself the way I described, and look at some of my other videos of these orbs of light in motion, because they have little bubbles of white rings come up to the surface. And when I'm looking at it, it's different than it is on than the camera can show it even in the movies, because there seems to be many layers that I'm looking through. And it seems to be a very watery kind of dimension. Everything shimmers and everything has little concentric circles around it sometimes. Now, these were taken outdoors. These next year, they can be very colorful ones that you get outdoors. It's just a little harder to get the orbs outdoors because, for one thing, the light is shining into your camera's viewer where you're looking at what you're taking a picture of, and you have to squint your eyes and try to see it, but it's difficult. So you just snap and hope you got something good. But I managed to get some pretty colorful ones the other day when I was outside. It's turning autumn here, and the blackbirds were all in this tree, and I was laying on the grassy, leafy lawn, looking up at the tree, taking those pictures. Sometimes I get so close in to an orb that you don't even see the round edges of it anymore because my camera focuses in pretty close sometimes. This is mostly the way that orbs look as they come out of the source. They're kind of teardrop shaped, and they are wrinkly, and they carry a lot of color. But then when they get out a little further, they are rounder. Sometimes I just go for color and go for the most color I can get into the picture. I'm looking through my viewer as I'm taking these pictures, and I'm looking for the very best, most colorful version, because sometimes as you're moving your camera around looking for a good shot, you get a lot of darkness, and then sometimes you zero right into a beautiful orb, and then I just have to snap it. And sometimes it takes too long to snap the very picture that you see, because these orbs change their colors every nanosecond, it seems. And sometimes the color has changed by the time I click. And orbs of light vortex around. They make little circles like a vortex. And light reproduces itself, according to Walter Russell. It doesn't travel, he says, it reproduces itself. Just exactly what that means, I don't know. I know that when I'm looking at these orbs moving, they will, oh, it's not moving now. Let me get it going again. I can't believe I came to the end of those 200 pictures. Well, what I was saying was, sometimes when I look at these orbs moving, I sense that it's dying from being one way and becoming another way, and the way it was before is replaced by its new self. It's not like creating something that's forever going to look the same. That it's constantly undergoing change. You see, I have many, many files of pictures of this light. Let me see if I can find a specific one I wanted to show you. Well, okay, see, you can see this was a round orb at one time. You see the roundness of it? But it stretches itself out. Sometimes a ribbon like that goes a long way, but in this case, this one just stretched itself out and started to make another one in the middle. And if you could see the continuation of this one will disappear, and this goes into a third one, this middle part, and becomes the third one. See how it stretches out like a ribbon? And it folds up like a scroll. Talk about a book of light. And since light is information, I do think this is well worth investigating and finding out more, as much as we can, about this light. Except I would say, don't do it like they do at CERN, not like they do at the Super Collider, Hadron Collider, or whatever that's called, because they force the atoms. And from all the metaphysical reading I do, I find that what you don't want to do that. You want to work with the light. You don't want to force fission or fusion of the light. I think it can do its own fission and fusion without our help, because often we use it to make bombs and things that hurt people. And when you think about it, if an atom is a little consciousness, it doesn't want to be used as a means of destroying a person or land or the earth. And we have to respect everything, from the tiniest thing to the biggest thing. It's necessary for us to respect all things. Anyway, I just want to get this video to you, David, and I hope that you will let me hear from you and give me your idea about what you think it is that I'm looking at. And take your time and, go within and find your answers that you might want to give me to this. I would appreciate it very much. And if you explored this and took pictures like this, you're going to be able to go into an inner part of yourself that maybe you've never been quite there before, because this brings up questions that you have to ask your own self. Like, one of them that I have had to ask is, why can't I just enjoy this even if I can't prove it to anyone else? Why is my ego so involved that I must prove something? Why can't I just let it be? But then a part of me wants to share it, really, really wants to share it. And I have to examine what are my motives for wanting to share it. Is it for fame? Is it for attention? Is it for, I think what it is for help. I want people to help me understand what I'm looking at and for them to look at it themselves. I don't want anyone to think that they couldn't also get these same kind of pictures, because it's nothing special about me. But there is something special about this that I'm looking at. And so far I haven't gotten anyone to do it as well and make videos of what they've made pictures of this light doing and send it to me. That's what I really, really, really want. For other people to participate. I was listening to someone talk quantum physics, and they were saying, in the quantum world, 1 and 1 does not equal 2. 1 and 1 might equal 2,000. There's just no way of knowing, because mathematics don't work at that level. Like when I look at this light, any little portion of that light can jump out from any part of it and make another orb. So this orb may represent 1, 2, or 2,000 or more orbs. So it doesn't fit our definition of mathematics. And you see this orb right here, it has this shape right here that's like the end of a worm. You know, worms just have this little pointy, but not too pointy, head. And this I call the head of the light. And it's going into an opening that it also makes and disappears into. That's why I say light is like it's having intercourse with itself all the time. And that's how it keeps creating and creating more and more of itself. And different images of itself as well. And I do want to work with this light and come to understand it and understand the messages that it might have for us. And light leaves this little luminous trail. You can see it right there. And it's just so interesting. I could just take pictures forever, but I'm already having a problem with I have too many. And I want to put them somewhere where other people can enjoy them too. So I have put some on different sites that take your pictures, you know, and I've shared them with others. But I would like to share all of them. All the 3,000 or more and growing number that I'm taking. Well, I call myself the Dove Lady, and I have a channel on YouTube where I read lots of good metaphysical books. Some of them I bet you have read, David, because there's some really good ones. I read a lot of Walter Russell's books. Neville Goddard, I read one of his books. I read Ken Carey's books. I love the Starseed Transmissions that I read of his. The very, very eye-opening book. If you've never read it, please do. I read a few of Richard Bach, the Illusions, and Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I even read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and The Great Glass Elevator. So people, check out my other videos. I read many, many, many of them. And I'm into reading Seth books too. The Nature of Personal Reality I'm reading right now. And I've read several others of her books. They are so good and they are so popular. People are more and more every day interested, even more than they ever have been. They're interested in what Seth has to say about the nature of reality. Because our reality is undergoing a shift, and we want to be on the cutting edge of it. We don't want it to overtake us without our knowing what's going on, because that lessens the fear and it makes us way more effective if we kind of have a feel for what is going on. So This is the Dove Lady. I'll talk at you again later, I hope. And bye for now.